With his close friend Tyler Myers traded to Winnipeg a few days ago in a blockbuster deal, Tyler Ennis and the Sabres must find a way to keep moving forward in what has been a very difficult season in Buffalo. It has not been an easy season in Philadelphia, where the Flyers are in danger of missing the playoffs for the second time in 3 years, but Wayne Simmonds is doing his part to lead a late season charge. Welcome to the NHL on NBCSN on a Sunday night from downtown Buffalo, First Niagara Center. It's the Buffalo Sabres playing host to the Philadelphia Flyers. Hi, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Dave Strader, a tale of two very different teams. The Flyers were 5 games under 500 in early December, but they've clawed their way back to 1 game over 500, within 7 points of a playoff spot. They still have to pass 2 teams, but there's hope. Buffalo almost certain to finish last in the National Hockey League. Got a head start this week on their rebuild, and it looks like this with the 2 deals they made. The main guys coming over, Evander Kane, Zach Bogosian, Anders Lindback, who will dress as the backup tonight. Tyler Myers, Drew Stafford, Jonas Enroth have moved out as we bring in our man inside the glass, Brian Engblom. Only Bogosian expected to play tonight because Lindback is dressed as the backup. Evander Kane out until next year, but Buffalo, Brian, may not be done yet.
Yeah, that's true. Their first trade certainly got the attention of the entire National Hockey League, and we'll get a chance to see Zach Bogosian in the Buffalo Sabres uniform. 24 years old. It's already his 7th year in the NHL. 6'3", 215 pounds. He is a real physical player. Expect him to throw some big body check here tonight, and he's got a bomb of a shot from the point. Chris Stewart, well, will he still be here by March 2nd? We'll wait and see. 6'2", 230 pounds, a former 28-goal scorer that's sort of settled in at the 15 to 18-goal level right now, but a lot of teams around the league really covet him, and it'll be interesting to see if he's still a Sabre at the end.
Well, the Flyers are 5-0-3 in their last 8, their longest point streak in about 3 seasons. What's interesting, Brian, is that they've done it without their top line being in their top form.
Well, the left wing on the top line has seen a lot of different faces over the course of the season, but the center and the right wing certainly haven't changed. Maybe a little bit of a mini slump, but for Claude Giroux, one of the most consistent players in the National Hockey League. In fact, over the last 4 years, he's got more points than any other player in the NHL. He leads the league in power play points. Jake Voracek, 42 assists. That's number 1 in the NHL, and he's number 2 overall in points. I talked to him this morning. He said, I'm not creating as much over the last 5 or 6 games, so look for Voracek to be working really hard and creating a lot in this game here tonight.
Well, we take you from inside First Niagara Center to outside, and a look at the French Connection line. A moment frozen in time. And yes, at these numbers, even time freezes in Western New York. But the Hardy Sabre fans are already here and ready for this one. More from Frigid Buffalo when we come back. The NHL on NBCSN is brought to you by SAP. The world's best companies run simple with SAP. By Honda, official vehicle of the National Hockey League. And by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. They've met once this season, a 4-3 Flyers victory. They'll meet tonight in Buffalo and again on Thursday in Philadelphia. Crucial point for the Flyers in their playoff chase. Opening faceoff from Buffalo coming up next.
To our NHL Live studio, we're going to get you to the Sabres and the Flyers in just a second, but we want to update you on what's going down in Florida right now. The Panthers and the Blues. Panthers down 1-0, just over a minute remaining. They pull the goalie, Ekblad shot, Barkov the redirect, Bjugstad equalizer.
This is just hard work. Barkov gets a little deflection off the boards, which allows that to come to Bjugstad, and it goes off of Stastny's stick and in the back of the net to tie the game at 1. This pesky Florida team does not go away.
So at the very least, they're going to pick up a point, which would leave them just 3 points back of the Boston Bruins. 1-1 in overtime. We'll continue to keep you updated, but right now it is time to head back to Buffalo. Dave Strader, Brian Engblom with the call.
All right, Liam, thanks very much. As we welcome you here to First Niagara Center, it's time to take a look at the numbers for our starting goalies presented by Honda. And with the injury to Steve Mason, Ray Emery front and center, you see his numbers on the season. He will go tonight for the Philadelphia Flyers against the Buffalo Sabres, who will, according to their coach Ted Nolan, ride this guy Michael Neuwirth pretty much the rest of the season. They did acquire Anders Lindback from Dallas in exchange for Jonas Enroth. Neuwirth coming in had started just 1 of the previous 9 games, but he's going to get the workload according to his coach going forward. Dave Strader in the broadcast booth. Brian Engblom is our man inside the glass. And the newest member of the Buffalo Sabres, number 47, Zach Bogosian, on the ice, having a little bit of a conversation with some of his teammates as there is a slight delay here as Matt Molson was over by the Sabres bench. There's Zach Bogosian. Brian, I know you've had a chance to see him over the last couple of years in Winnipeg.
Yeah, he's a terrific young player, 24 years old. It's already his 7th year in the NHL. Tremendous amount of experience. I expect Bogosian to be real physical in this game.
And we'll see if the Flyers can do what their coach Craig Berube wants them to do, and that's get an early start to this game. He called it North hockey or North-South hockey, straight ahead, be aggressive, and get on these Sabres right away. This is a matchup the Flyers will have twice, including tonight, in their next 3 contests with a game in between against Columbus. Here's Voracek in the offensive zone. All right, so send it across, finds its way to Schultz now at the left point. Schultz sends it high slot, and Giroux with a shot toward the crowd in front, and Neuwirth has it for a faceoff.
These are the kind of games that's scary if you're the Philadelphia Flyers. They're trying to climb up the standings. They've made up 4 points in their climb since the middle of January, and that's part of a 8-game stretch where they've got at least 1 point. You play against the Buffalo Sabres, who are at the bottom of the league, and you think you have to have both points. But Buffalo's got something to say about that. That's why Craig Berube wants his guys going hard early.
Here's the red-hot Wayne Simmonds. He's been the main guy over the last 7 games with 5 goals and 4 assists. Points in 6 of 7 games for number 17. As the Flyers try to keep the pressure on Couturier. Knocked away now by Girgensons, who plays it back to Zadorov up the right wing side. It's chipped by Ennis. Stewart trying to get to it, tried to chip it around Luke Schenn, and on the angle missed the net. It rolls all the way around and out to center ice. Nikita Zadorov back to get it, paired with Rasmus Ristolainen. Josh George is out of the lineup. And this morning, as Ted Nolan talked about the defenseman, Josh George is not sure if he's going to be out perhaps for the rest of this season. He was expected to play with Bogosian, but it'll be Andre Benoit to start there for now for the Sabres. As the puck goes in behind the Flyer net. Flynn could not get to it. Pushed ahead up the far side. It comes to Vandenbel. The off his stick couldn't control, and now Marcus Foligno, number 82, will slide it to Andre Mazzaros.
And Buffalo, of course, will miss Josh George a heck of a lot. He's one of the biggest shot blockers in the National Hockey League, and Buffalo does spend a lot of time inside their own zone.
Now Marcus Foligno, 3rd game back after an extended absence with an injury. Flynn's shot is steered aside by Emery. Ends up in the far corner. Ryan White picks it up, number 25. Well, the Flyer sends it ahead for R.J. Umberger. Changes the angle on the shot. Neuwirth will save with the right pad. Now Flynn drops it back. Mazzaros is tested there by White, who picks it up now center ice, and he'll just lob it back in on Neuwirth, who hands it off now for Zadorov.
The key for Buffalo, of course, like any team, but the way their season has gone is getting out of their zone quickly like they did right there.
Hodgson with a shot. Cody Hodgson back in the lineup after being a healthy scratch the last 2 games and had a rather extended conversation with Ted Nolan on the ice at the end of their morning skate. And basically, Brian, Ted Nolan said the message to Cody Hodgson and really the rest of the guys with the trades that have been made and from what's in front of them the rest of the season, just go out and play. No excuses, just play.
Well, he's only got 8 points this year, 20 goal scorer last year. It's been a really off year to say the least for Hodgson. They need way more from him there. He's got terrific talent.
Now Voracek, hard hit there from Bogosian. Torrey Mitchell plays it ahead. Giunta chips it past Coburn. We mentioned in the open, Braden Coburn back in the lineup after missing the previous 12 games. Also, Michael Raffel is back for the Flyers as Couturier takes it wide with a shot that's blocked. And that ends up on the netting and out of play.
There's a look at Zach Bogosian. He is a rough, tough customer. If you want to drop the mitts, that's fine, but he hits hard. A solid player. He's got a real good knack along the boards, and you see the contact that he made there. Prior to that, watch the breakout here for the Flyers. R.J. Umberger coming way across from the left side to the right, and then that's a real smart shot. He's making a crossing pattern using Mazzaros as a screen. Gets the shot away, gets it right on net. That's smart play there from Umberger.
Couturier wins the draw. Schultz got it back to the line. Simmonds got it through. He scored! Matt Reed was in front, but this shot from just inside the blue line finds its way past Neuwirth, and the Flyers have a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, I'm convinced that Reed got a piece of this. I heard a click of a stick there, and I think it's Reed who'll end up getting it. Just a quick shot towards the net, but it's always a net front presence that makes the biggest difference. Watch 24 White. The shot through a screen definitely went off the shaft of the stick. That one, I think, was even going wide of the net. Simmons playing in his position to cover up his defenseman. You could see that was headed for the Geico sign about 15 feet wide of the net. And right off the shaft of the stick there in a complete redirection, and you can see what Neuvirth thought of it. Nothing. He didn't see it until it was by him.
For Matt Reed, it'll be his 5th of the season. He came in on a 3-game point streak with a goal and 2 assists in that span.
Yeah, for Reed, he had, I think, 1 goal in 29 games there. It was really tough for him. He's a grinding third-line guy. He's been with Couturier a lot over the last 2 years in particular. Really good, conscientious player, but the puck would not go in. Maybe it's starting to turn for him.
Well, the Flyers, their coach wanted them to get off to an aggressive start. They've got the first goal. But, Brian, we talked about it earlier today and before the game. This 5-0-3 streak is great, but the Flyers and their coach, Craig Berube, talking about the points that they left on the table.
Yeah, well, especially when you're chasing, you're looking up. Fortunately for them, there's only 2 teams between them and the wild card spot. Boston's in it right now. Florida's also in front of them. So it's not impossible to make up 7 points, but certainly it's a big deal. Weber just deflected that one up into the bench, so we'll get a whistle.
Well, the last couple of losses for the Philadelphia Flyers, and again, you have leads, a 1-0 lead in Montreal. They end up losing this game 2-1 in overtime. And the Columbus one was really a tough one, Brian. It was a 3-1 game about midway through the third. And when you look at these replays, there's no coverage in front of the net. I mean, that last look at the overtime goal, there's 2 Columbus Blue Jackets. You don't even see a Philadelphia Flyer in the screen.
Yeah, it was the cycle game of Columbus who was really good at that really ended up taking a toll on the Flyers. But when you got a 2-goal lead halfway through the third period, you're supposed to win those games.
Now Del Zotto getting some help as Luke Schenn played it up the far side. He'll continue and chip it out to center ice. Bellemare tried to get it to Vandenbelde, but the Sabres turn it right back into the Flyers zone. Schenn plays it ahead. It deflects all the way down into the Buffalo zone. This will be icing against the Flyers. Watch the NHL on NBC Live on your laptop, tablet, or smartphone with NBC Sports Live Extra. Download the app or go to NBC Sports/Live Extra and watch the biggest events anywhere, anytime. Face off in the Flyers zone. Torrey Mitchell went down low against Bellemare, and now it is recovered by Mitchell, who tries to angle it off the boards for Molson, but it's taken back by the Flyers and chipped back into the Buffalo zone. Here's Bogosian with it. Sends it far side, didn't connect there with Mitchell. Now Braden Coburn will hand it off. Nick Grossman. Brian, we had an opportunity to watch a bit of that Winnipeg-Detroit game last night, a shootout win for the Winnipeg Jets. And both of the former Sabres, Drew Stafford and Tyler Myers, playing a big role for Winnipeg in that victory.
Yeah, they'll be feeling really good about themselves. You get to a new team and obviously want to make an impact. The best way to do that is show a couple of points on the board, and they both did that.
Straight for Schultz, tees it up, save made by Neuvirth. He does not have it covered up. Comes back out for another chance here that's fired in wide by Voracek. And it's picked up by the Sabres and comes out to Girgensons, knocked off of his stick. Quickly sent ahead for Ennis. Oh, and that play just offside.
That was a real quick up there from Zach Bogosian. Real heads-up play to Tyler Ennis, who doesn't like the call. But here's the shot by Schultz. Buffalo doesn't getting in the shooting lanes. If you don't tie up, then you might as well just back up and let your goaltender be able to see it. Neuvirth was able to see that shot. He was able to make the save, and then Buffalo did a pretty good job of covering up. Oh, that's a real tight call there. I mean, Ennis has real good reason to argue that one. He had 1 foot onside as far as I can see. It's easy to see when we slow it down in super slow motion for sure. But that was a smart, quick up from Bogosian, who made that pass from his own zone.
Del Zotto takes a hit from Ennis. It's played up the far side, and the Flyers look to come out with it. Now Del Zotto across the line. Fumbled it momentarily, able to move it across. Voracek takes a hit along the boards, and the Sabres able to clear. Now Weber plays it around left wing side. Molino rink wide. Mazzaros chips it, but it's Taken back by Grossman, who slides it across for his partner. And it's out to center ice. On the rush here now for Brayden Schenn. Brayden Schenn, shot was deflected by Mazzaro. Schenn gets it right back now. Comes out from behind the Buffalo net. Looks out to the left point. Grossman with it. Grossman tees it up, and Neuwirth the save. And he put it up high on the glass, but still in play. But he kind of hesitated for a split second there. Now Grossman tees it up again. Neuwirth able to block it to the far side, and Delorier starts it back for Buffalo. Nicholas Delorier with a little self-chip into the zone. He'll chase it down. Sends it back to the corner. Hit the skates of one of the referees trying to get out of the way. Wes McCauley and Chris Rooney, the two referees tonight. Here Rasico and Brian Panchich are the linesmen. As Couturier plays it back inside the Buffalo zone, and Delorier will rush it back quickly for Buffalo.
Boy, there's really good pace and quickness to this game so far by both teams.
Straight run into there by Johan Larsson, just called up from Rochester, the American Hockey League, is Patrick Kaleta also on the injured list for Buffalo tonight. Back to the line, Flyers looking to keep the pressure on the offensive zone. A shot here is steered aside by Neuwirth. Banding on it, looking to one-time it back to the front of the net was Streit. Now angled off the near boards and picked up by Matt Ellis. He starts it back with an angle pass to Hodgson. Hodgson looking to go back to Ellis. Schultz got a stick on it. Now Zadorov, the big defenseman, following up on the play. But it goes off the stick of Matt Reed and back out to center ice.
Zadorov's not shy about getting in on the offense. He likes to get in there and handle the puck down low, and as long as the forwards for Buffalo cover up for him, which they did in that case, that's a good thing. You have to get your defense involved in today's NHL if you're going to create any points, and Buffalo has to find a way to score some more goals.
Bellemare far side. LeCavalier tried to go back to him, and now he sends it back out to the line. Shot here from Luke Schenn, trickles in on Neuwirth, and he will cover up. Matt Reed with his 5th of the season from Simmons and Schultz. And the Flyers have a 1-0 lead in Buffalo. NBC and NBCSN celebrate a full weekend of hockey starting Saturday at 9:30 Eastern. 2015 Coors Light NHL Stadium Series. LA and San Jose take hockey outdoors on NBCSN, and then on Sunday we go from Philly to Chicago to Minnesota for Hockey Day in America on NBC and NBCSN. Flyers with a 1-0 lead. Now Giunta sends it ahead. Good positioning there by Bellemare. Hands it off to Vandevelde, and the Flyers are going to get a power play. Emery goes to the bench on the delayed call.
Yeah, Mitchell's going to go for tripping here. Giunta coming out through the middle of the ice, and good positioning by the Flyers. You're absolutely right, Dave. And Mitchell was on the headed up ice. He turned around and tried to make a defensive play and ends up pulling the feed out from underneath Bellemare. See, strictly reactionary play. Whoops, the puck didn't get where it was supposed to. So he takes the feed out. So the power play for the Philadelphia Flyers, which has been really good all season. They're, in fact, number 3 overall and 27% over this last 8-game streak in which they've got at least a point in every game.
And the power play for the Flyers is presented by Craftsman. And we've got some of the best power play scores in the National Hockey League, as you would expect with Philadelphia going so well all season, and a good chance there for Brayden Schenn was turned aside by Neuwirth. Now it comes out to the line straight with it. Hands it off on the far side for Voracek. Voracek, and that goes off the stick. Out at the blue line, and Giroux drops it back to Streit, who could not hold it in.
They'll work it on the right side once they get in the zone once in a while, but for the most part, everything goes through Giroux on the left wing, and boy, did they interchange positions and move the puck around quickly on this Philly power play.
Giroux, Streit, and Voracek among the league leaders in power play assists, and Wayne Simmons is behind only Joel Pavelski and Alex Ovechkin in terms of power play goals. Now Brayden Schenn plays it around the far side. Voracek moves it away from Giunta, sends it in deep now for Simmons. Up the near side, it's picked up by Claude Giroux. Sends it out to the line. Streit tees it up for a shot. Break through and a save. And the Sabres get to it and bounce it back down the ice.
Neuwirth's done a really good job of finding pucks that are coming in from long range out. Yeah, he allowed the one goal, but he never even saw that one. He's fighting through it and made some good saves in traffic. Philly has good net front presence, especially on this power play.
Now Couturier for LeCavalier. Tied up along the boards there by Benoit. Goes out to the right point. Delzato. Straight away now for Reed. Over for the one-timer that sails just wide. Michael Neubert. As we're down inside 20 seconds remaining in the Torrey Mitchell minor penalty. Couturier hands it off. Quick centering pass right through the blue paint. And Couturier angled it back to the point. But Reed had moved in closer, and the Flyers have to back up and regroup.
Good sticks in front of the net there, especially by Foligno, and that attempted pass from behind the net out front to LeCavalier. I believe it was Foligno's stick that got a piece of it there. Just having your sticks in the right lane and having some pressure on them, making the difference there.
Now Bogosian moves it to Weber. Weber under pressure and gave it up there. Raffl. Michael Raffl back in the lineup, as we mentioned, been out with an illness. Out to the line, Coburn with a shot. Knocked down in front and cleared by Bogosian to the near boards. And one-handed to Ennis, who slides it across just behind Stewart as he was looking to break for a scoring opportunity the other way. Grossman hands it off. Vandevelde, a backhand shot up high. Oh, and a big hit by Bogosian on Vandevelde, and that's exactly what number 47 will bring to this lineup, and that draws a reaction.
Yeah, I think the Flyers are thinking that maybe that was a tad late. I was listening to the whistle. I looked away for a second, and then you hear the big crunch along the board. Bogosian plays a real heavy game. The Flyers didn't like that heavy hit.
The Flyers didn't like it, but from the response of the crowd here in Buffalo, they liked it. Big hit by Bogosian in a 1-0 Flyer lead.
Thoughts on how your team looks right now and feels since the big trade?
Well, you know, anytime you trade a couple guys that are here for a very long time, it's going to take a little time to adjust, and the emotions are still pretty raw. So, but outside of that, you know, we're a little tentative in the first 10 minutes of the game here or so, but hopefully we'll get better.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
And Ted Nolan pretty much telling us that this morning, in particular the guy that just passed the puck, Tyler Ennis. He and Tyler Myers were very close. And Ted Nolan telling us this morning that it was very emotional in the room. There were some guys close to tears with the announcement of the deal. And as Coach Nolan said, guys that have been around a long time, that this play is offside. We always focus, Brian, on the hockey aspects of deals, but there's always more to it than that.
Oh, they're humans, yeah. When you lose a really good friend that you started your career off with and your cornerstones of the team, tough for Tyler Ennis to lose guys like that. And Drew Stafford has been here for many years and have been, you know, one of their leaders as well, too. Here's a look at the arrivals and departures of the Buffalo Sabres just in the last few days. And so a lot of things for these guys to deal with, and they realize that there's still 2 weeks to go in the trade deadline, and it may not be over yet. Yeah, they're pros, and yeah, they're paid to adapt, but they're human, too.
Now Couturier, high slot with a chance there, but Neubert, no traffic in front, was able to track that all the way. And of course, the guy that's been busy is the general manager, Tim Murray, of the Buffalo Sabres. He was hired back in January of 2014, replaced Darcy Regier. Previous 7 years, he was an assistant general manager of the Ottawa Senators, has a strong background in scouting and evaluating talent. As this shot by Delzato over the top of the glove of Neubert. Tim Murray had some very positive things to say about Evander Kane, who's had not always positive things said about him, more in terms of what's happened off the ice in Winnipeg than on the ice. But Evander Kane, in articles today that came out, making some very positive comments about the move, the fact that he'll be an important part of the rebuild here, and very much looking forward to it next season when he hopefully is 100% recovered from the shoulder surgery.
Evander Kane's got tremendous talent. He can skate as fast as anybody. He can go 100 miles an hour, sit down for 30 seconds, and give you another 100-mile-an-hour shift. He hits everything in front of him. He's got terrific offensive skills, and yeah, if he's ready and wants to play here in Buffalo, he'll make a gigantic impact.
Belmar's shot was deflected by Mazzaros. Now it's chipped up the near side. And we have 7:15 remaining here in the first period. Matt Reed's 5th of the year, the only goal. And Larson tried to put it in front, picked up by Cody Hodgson, and he fired it wide. Cody Hodgson playing on a line here with Johan Larson and Matt Ellis. Here's Hodgson cutting in and forcing Emery to make a big stop at Vandevelde for the Flyers, able to get it to Belmar, who's ridden off into the boards by Larson, and the puck comes right back into the Flyers zone. So Buffalo with a little bit of a pushback here as Vandevelde on the stretch pass Puts one in on Neuwirth, and Mazzaro's able to clear it ahead for Delorier.
Yeah, talk about a wholesale change. All 5 Sabres changed. That's why Vendevelde it looked like a breakaway for a second there. A little dicey there for the Sabres.
Now Benoit moves in, hands it off to Foligno. Centering pass for Flynn. Good coverage in front by the forward Ryan White. Now it's dumped by Luke Schenn. In behind Neuwirth, comes out on the far side. Foligno is there. He protects the puck. Raffl, though, knocks it away. Now it's taken back by Foligno. He's forced to just dump it out to center ice. Flyers dump it right back in as Ryan White was nearly dumped into the Flyers bench. Now Delorier.
And R.J. Umberger right in front here, too, exchanging a few pleasantries and a couple of cuffs on the side of the head.
Now fired along the boards in behind Emery. He's out to play it. Hands up to Nick Grossman, and the big Flyer defenseman looking for an option. Slides it across to Coburn, and now it's flipped back into the Buffalo end of the ice. Taken away by Couturier in front. A chance here for Reed again, and a save by Neuwirth. That Reed close to getting his second goal of the game.
Boy, Neuwirth is really sharp, especially when you consider he's only had 1 start in the last 9 Buffalo Sabres games. He is really on top of it in this first period.
Now Reed, with the Flyers making a change, just dumps it across into the Sabres zone. Reed goes to the bench to complete the Flyers change. And the Sabres send it back the other way. It rolls in wide of Emery, and icing here against Buffalo.
Watch Neuwirth as he makes this save, and Matt Reed coming out of the corner here. Tracks the puck well. Looks like it's okay. Buffalo's under control. Whoops, turnover there, and then a quick play coming out, and Neuwirth saw it coming all the way. Really well done there by Michael Neuwirth. Just a little sloppy there inside the zone, and the turnover by Ristolainen. That puck should have gone along the wall, and it never should have been touched by a Philadelphia Flyer.
Well, if you're Craig Berube, the Flyer coach, Brian, and you wanted an aggressive start, the numbers don't always tell the story, but 14-3 shots and the scoring chances about that lopsided as well. Pretty good start here for Philadelphia.
They've had most of the puck possession for sure, and puck possession's obviously been an issue for Buffalo all year.
Puck into the Buffalo bench and out of play. 5 minutes straight up left in the first. The Flyers with a 1-0 lead. Look at the player profile presented by SAP. Evander Kane, many people saying the best player in the deal. Of course, underwent shoulder surgery, a former 4th overall pick back in 2009. Of course, when the Jets were the Atlanta Thrashers. You see his numbers so far in 5+ seasons. But as Brian was just talking earlier, the numbers don't tell the whole story of what Evander Kane can bring to a hockey team with his speed, his toughness, his tenacity.
And this year his numbers weren't fantastic, but he did not get a lot of top 6 forward time. And he was good with it. And the other thing, too, is he turned into we have an offside call here. Evander Kane turned into a really good penalty killer, too. Good positioning because he has the offensive smarts to read what's coming at him. So Ted Nolan will be looking forward to dealing with Evander Kane next year.
Well, the other thing Evander Kane wanted to make clear in a couple of interviews that I've seen, Brian, since the deal was made, that the shoulder surgery was not done, or the timing of it wasn't just to end the season and maybe force Winnipeg into making a deal. He said his shoulder has been something that he's really had to play through, and it turned out to be a lot worse once he went under the knife and had more repairs done than they originally anticipated. So it was something that had to be done. He wanted to make sure that was clear as White puts it right to the blue paint, and it's covered up here by Neuwirth.
Kane's a very tough young man. He went through a lot of stuff for sure, a lot of injuries, and played through it. He just couldn't do it anymore. For the Sabres, he just saw a turnover there in the neutral zone by Zadorov. The young defensemen that have been playing together, Ristolainen and Zadorov, have done as good a job as you can expect for 2 young men, but they're starting to make a lot of mistakes. You can see the coaching staff going and talking to them right now. You have to make sure coming out of your zone. Turnovers like that, when you're carrying the puck going one direction, you turn it over, you're caught, everybody is caught. Those are the things that you have to learn, that you just absolutely cannot make those kinds of mistakes. And their ice time has been cut back a little bit over the last couple of games, and it's a good idea for Ristolainen and Zadorov because they've been in so many games where you're losing, and it's tough to sort it out after a while, and you get bad habits. So I think you'll see their ice time cut back over the next couple of days and weeks at least to see how they recover.
Flyers with a 1-0 lead. Just over 3.5 remaining here in the first period. Matt Reed is 5th from Wayne Simmons, who's been red hot. Nick Schultz, the defenseman, got the other assist on the play. Just 3:19 into this one. As Mike Weber starts it ahead. Deflected pass. Now it comes off the skate of Girgensons. Emery, instead of covering up that puck, kept it alive. And now the Sabres get it to the front off the stick of Girgensons. And it's angled to the near boards and chipped by Couturier out through the neutral zone and recovered by Weber back inside the Buffalo zone. Across for Mazzaros. Back now for Weber. Ennis, nice little play to himself off the wall. Hands it off Girgensons. Now the return pass. Moves in on Emery, who made the pad save. Nice job there by this top line of the Sabres as Mazzaros sends it across. Zadorov looking for a shooting lane, and that missed just wide on the stick side as Emery may have been bumped into a bit there by some traffic at the side of the goal.
Tyler Ennis started that play. What a cute little spin around the play he made in the neutral zone to control the puck and send them away on their rush. He's got some terrific skills, this Tyler Ennis.
Reed dumps it along in behind Neuwirth. Under 2.5 remaining here in the first. Zadorov drops it back. Ristolainen up the far side. And now it comes to Mitchell with some speed. Moving up on Grossman. Crisscrossing, hands it to Brian Gionta. Sweeps it to the front. Save made by Emery. And he covers up before Matt Molson of the Sabres could get there.
Let's watch some of these couple of plays that Buffalo Sabres have made on the rush. Really good stuff. Look at on the rush here, the exchange. Gionta pulls it back. Net front presence by Torrey Mitchell, who started the play. And then watch this right side of your screen. Look at that little spin around the play, and then a play off the wall to himself by Tyler Ennis. Gets it into the middle, and the Sabres work it right into the net. Girgensons gets a chance from point-blank range against the Philadelphia Flyers, but it was started by that guy with some slick hands.
Mitchell taken to the boards by Grossman. Puck recovered by the Flyers. Braden Shen sends it across now. Here's Voracek. Chips it ahead to skate after it. Benoit trying to angle him to the corner as we hit 2 minutes remaining here in the first period. Braden Shen turned back into traffic and paid the price with a hit. And now Shen trying to regain control, battling with Mitchell. Voracek hands it off to Streit. It gets by him, and he has to move it quickly to Schultz with Gionta putting on pressure. Braden Shen again, backhands it into the Buffalo zone. Bogosian back to get it. Claude Giroux on him, now Benoit with it. Sends it ahead, and it's angled out to center ice. Flyers regain, it comes to Nick Schultz. Hammers one from center ice in behind Neuwirth. On the far side of Benoit, came off of his stick. The Flyers recover. Out to the line. Luke Schenn with a shot, changed direction, went wide. In front of a screen, Neuwirth. And a big hit along the boards by Raffl. It comes back down to Del Zotto. Del Zotto fired it in wide of the Buffalo goal. Luke Schenn moves it along. Now here's Raffl with Ellis on him. Schenn across for Del Zotto. Wrist shot right through, and Neuwirth the save. Time to go inside the glass, presented by Toyota. Here's Brian Engblom.
Let's take a look at what Zach Bogosian has been able to do for the Buffalo Sabres so far tonight. I knew the physical presence would start. That's the easiest way to get into the game. That was his very first shift, and then it didn't take long for that one to happen along the wall as well. He's very good in that department, and this is the one that got the Philadelphia Flyers all riled up. It was right at the very end of a play. He does not back off. He hits like a ton of bricks. He's got a lot of speed, very good footwork, and he's going to bring that physical presence. He had a lot of ice time so far in this first period.
Now Simmons, after a face-off win for the Flyers in the offensive zone. Couturier behind the net, looking for someone out front. Goes back to Grossman, rink wide. Streit didn't have a shooting lane. Goes back to Grossman. He'll tee it up for a shot that sails up over top of the net. Now sent along on the near side and picked up by Ristolainen, and he'll dump it back out to center ice. And it's recovered here by Simmons. Hands it off to Couturier.
Well, what a terrific set of hands there by Simmons inside his own zone to get that one out of harm's way just inside their blue line.
Angled off the boards. Grossman with a bouncing puck that deflects into the glove of Neuwirth, and he will hold it there.
Wayne Simmons got a lot of different skills. He's their leading goal scorer with 21 this year. Terrific on the power play. But when you can do things with the puck inside your own zone, that makes a big difference too. Look at 17 here. Protect the puck. A nice little play there. You don't make big chances inside your own blue line. You can't afford to have turnovers there. He was careful with it, used his skills, and made a nice little pass to get out.
Here comes Voracek. Simmons with an assist tonight, coming off that 2-goal, 1-assist effort in Columbus in the Flyers' previous game. As Bogosian now sends it along behind Emery all the way to the far side. Stewart for Girgensons, and that will do it for this first period as Delzato and Stewart came together right at the end. Matt Reed, the goal scorer, as we invite you to stay with us for the Lexus Intermission Report with Liam, Keith, and JR. They'll talk about Bogosian making an impact early as a Buffalo Sabres. And the Blues and the Panthers. The Panthers, one of two teams the Flyers are chasing in the Eastern Conference playoffs. The Blues and the Panthers go to a shootout. They'll have highlights from that as well. 1-0 Flyers at the end of one. The Lexus Intermission Report is after this. The NHL on NBCSN is brought to you by Lexus and their pursuit of perfection. And by Red Hook Beer Battered Codfish Sandwich at Carl's Jr. and Hardee's. Back in Buffalo, Dave Strader along with Brian Engblom. Well, you take a look at the Buffalo Sabres. If their current scoring pace continues to the end of the season, it would be the worst goals per game in about 80 years as you take a look at some of the teams back when the game was so different. They had just allowed legalized passing in the offensive zone back in the late 20s, early 30s when teams were scoring at this low rate. And Mike Harrington, who writes for the Buffalo News, carried it a little further as he went into, I know Mike Milbury's favorite subject, the analytics, but the Corsi number, which measures shots on goal and all shots attempted at the net, those that are blocked and those that missed the net. And Buffalo only accounts for 37% of the shots taken in games that they're involved in. Their opponents account for 63 as this play is offside. That is by far the worst in the National Hockey League, Brian.
They did create some scoring chances in the first period. Get the pucks to the net. That's always the key. Bad angle shot there. Not too tough for Emery. Really good play by Hodgson to walk the puck off the wall there. That was the most dangerous one, I think. Worked the play in on the rusher there, and just at the last second, Girgensons couldn't get the handle on it. It's always something, but early in the season, there's a lot of reasons for this. We're going to have an icing call and come back in the Buffalo zone, and the Buffalo zone was the issue for the first probably 2 months of the season at least. Buffalo spent so much time in their own end. They had to clean that up first. You got to get out of your zone much more cleanly, make good passes coming out, then you're going to get some offensive chances and some zone time in the other end. It started there, and I think, you know, they just got to get some touch back in the game, whichever way they can, make some plays offensively.
Voracek angles it around behind the Buffalo net, goes to the far side. And the Sabres able to regain Bogosian. Throws it back to Benoit, right on the far side for Giunta, just chips it but didn't get it out of the zone. But it's angled back by Giroux and ends up on the netting over the glass and out of play.
Michael Neuwirth had a very good first period. He's 15 shots at him. One of them he just didn't see. The goal he had no chance on early on here. Really quick legs. Yeah, he's kicked out some rebounds into the middle of the ice, but you got to stop the puck first. Good rebound control there. His good vision. He's had to really fight to see a lot of plays. That was one of the bigger saves on that play, coming from behind him and then quickly out in front. Some of the toughest saves for goaltenders to make. I thought Neuwirth had a really solid first period.
And the newly acquired Anders Lindback from the Dallas Stars is backing up tonight. Turned over by the Flyers, but Couturier right over to get it back. Sends it ahead now for Simmons. This line has accounted for the last 5 goals scored by the Philadelphia Flyers. The line of Couturier, Reed, and Simmons. As it's angled around on the far side and all the way down the ice, another icing call here against Buffalo. Wednesday night rivalry is on NBCSN. Pavel Datsyuk and the Red Wings take on Patrick Kane and the Blackhawks. Red Wings, Blackhawks. Coverage begins at 6:30 Eastern. Wednesday night rivalry, the night you love to hate. And no longer in the same conference, but that won't take the edge off of that rivalry between the Red Wings and the Blackhawks. And those of you watching the game on NBC earlier today with Doc Emrick, Pierre Maguire, Eddie Olczyk. There's another icing call here. You saw Patrick Kane at his best in that shootout win.
Oh.
Just an incredible move he made on Marc-Andre Fleury before scoring the goal in the shootout.
He is like Houdini. It is incredible how he slows down, makes that play. It's like, watch my hands, you're falling asleep. Now when I snap my fingers, your wallet and your wristwatch will be gone.
And I like the fact, no big celebration either.
No.
And then, you know, just turned around, skated back to the bench.
I'll be here all week.
Now Stewart Angled by Belmar to the far boards. Braden Coburn out with it now. Sends it along the boards in behind Neubert. Neubert goes to the far side, and now it's up the middle of the ice. Flynn for Foligno. Forcing Schultz to go back after it. Streit there as well. He's run into by Delorier. Now Streit lost his footing. And the Sabres come up with a backhand shot by Delorier. Went just wide, and he was knocked down to the ice after delivering the backhand shot. Out to the far point. Mazzaros could not control. He's under pressure there, but moves it quickly to Weber. Up the middle of the ice for Flynn, who angles it off the boards. And taken away and sent by Belmar back into the Buffalo zone. Knocked down, though, by the Flyers and sent back to the line. Here is Luke Schenn with it, looking for a passing or shooting lane. Able to get it now to Michael Raffl. Battling there against Mazzaros. Flynn plays it around on the far side. Now White gets a stick on it to keep it alive for the Flyers. Centering pass came right out in front of the Buffalo net, but it's cleared by the Sabres. It'll be chased down by Michael Del Zotto.
Flynn doing a good job there in front of the net. Really good positioning to intercept that pass and get it out of the zone.
Good stick by Bogosian, and Ellis back the other way, and the counterattack. Long wrist shot sails over the glove of Ray Emery. And now Braden Schenn with it. Takes the hit from Larson, but made the play, and now White lifts it back into the Buffalo zone. Bogosian takes a quick look over his shoulder. Plays it up the left wing side for Matt Ellis. Larson with a low shot, kicked out of there by Emery. And Schenn, another big hit by Bogosian.
Oh, he was just cruising the whole way. He was up on the play. He wanted to pass into the slot, didn't get it, so he was on the move to make that big hit on Schenn.
Now Claude Giroux sends one in on Neubert through calmly steers it aside. Bogosian. And now it comes ahead for Ellis, who hands it off. Or Larson sends it back into the Flyer zone. Grossman, but Larson was there to get a stick on it for Buffalo. Now Giunta working against Giroux down low. Giunta out to the high slot. A chance here. Emery the save, and he knocks it down. Or did it hit the post?
Yes. It hit the inside of the post. I can hear the clank, and I think it came right back out underneath him. Emery challenging really well, but a real dangerous shot. One of the best that the Buffalo Sabres have been able to come across. Giunta with some good work down low. Torrey Mitchell get the puck out, and then right from the top of the slot, there's the clank. You can see it. Emery got maybe just a touch of it to get it off course a little bit. Larson with the shot off the post, and Emery sits on it.
Now at the Buffalo line, Ristolainen plays it back the other way. Couturier for the Flyers back to regain. Now Streit slides it across for Reed, who's the goal scorer in this game. Plays it ahead. One hand pass out in front of the Buffalo net. Rolls all the way to the high slot. Giunta starts it back for the Sabres. Brian Giunta hands it off. Backhand centering pass, and it goes off the skate of Molson, and back the other way. Simmons has it swept off his stick by Ristolainen. Now a centering pass and chopped at by Reed. Recovered by Zadorov. Lifted ahead, knocked down by Reed with a stick. Couturier sends it along behind Neubert up the near side, and Luke Schenn was there for the Flyers, but it comes to Matt Molson. He drops it back now for Brian Giunta, who will angle it softly back into the Flyer zone as Buffalo will look to make a line change. Stretch pass here now for LeCavalier. He deflects it, or did he? Apparently not. It's going to be an icing call, and the face-off all the way back into the Flyer zone.
The Philadelphia Flyers season has been interesting, to say the least. When they've scored fewer than 4 goals, they only have 7 wins in regulation out of 36 games. So, and they've done a good job actually when Emery's been in the net. Ray Emery has had really good goal support when he's been in, but the Flyers didn't win a lot of low-scoring 1-goal games early on, especially.
Emery makes a save there as Ennis tries to get it back to a teammate, but the Flyers regain, and it's out to center ice. Pass was behind Del Zotto, and that leads the Sabres back the other way. Ennis going to the front of the net. Little tip pass, gets there! Emery would have stopped there, his best of the game. Well, the always dangerous Tyler Ennis.
Outstanding by Emery. Michael Del Zotto just gets caught up in the play going through the neutral zone, and he has to put the brakes on. Number 15 in white tries to catch Ennis, but Ennis has terrific acceleration. Delzato was only a step or so behind him, but you could see how much daylight was between them at the end of the play. A nice little chip play there. Real good puck control by Tyler Ennis. Just can't quite get it over the glove of Emery, who challenged very well on that shot.
Now Coburn drops it back for Grossman. And as the Flyers out to center ice, Raffl deflects it into the Buffalo zone. Picked up here by R.J. Umberger on the backhand. Still controlling Mazzaro, shoves him hard to the boards. And Umberger shaken up a bit, but he does get up gingerly. Now it's recovered by the Flyers inside their own zone. Delorier with some pressure. And Bogosian unable to keep that in. Now, you were talking about Ray Emery. Yes, he has gotten goal support. 3 or more goals in 12 of Emery's 18 starts, and all 9 of his victories. The team in front of him, Brian, has scored 3 or more.
Yeah, that's really good run support for any goaltender. His worst time of the season was January. He had 4 straight losses in January, but the last 2 games, they only got 1 point out of each game, against Columbus and against Montreal, but he was outstanding in those last 2 games. And he has to be. Mason's out for a couple of weeks, it looks like, with the orthoscopic surgery, and Emery's their guy.
Backhand shot here into the glove of Emery, and he will hang on to it, and we will step away. Just over 6 minutes gone by here in the second period. It remains Flyers 1, Sabres nothing. A couple of games back, Steve Mason, who's been battling a little bit of a knee problem. This was video that was shot during a TV timeout in the game against the Washington Capitals. He had faced 8 shots, had stopped them all, but something just did not feel right. He was not able to continue. He left. He had the arthroscopic surgery, as Brian mentioned. And now it is a youngster by the name of Anthony Stolarz, who's the backup, wearing number 65, who's never played a minute in the National Hockey League.
So you know it's going to be Emery that's going to be carrying the load as long as Mason is out. That knee had been bothering Mason for quite some time. Obviously, when you make a little move like that and it just literally gives out on him. There's a look at Stolarz sitting on the bench, a prospect for the Philadelphia Flyers, getting a chance to soak everything up. Watch.
And during what was a rather innocent-looking play, the official at center ice spotted something, Brian, deep in the Flyers zone, and an offensive zone penalty against Claude Giroux.
Well, a chance here for the Buffalo Sabres. I didn't catch that one either, but the Sabres on the power play here. There's a little bit of a hook right there. Nobody went down on the play. I didn't even see the arm go up.
Yeah, it was out at center ice, and wasn't much there, but the officials don't overturn it as they did with the Sidney Crosby one in that game earlier today, which was very interesting. Jurgensen's now taking it wide. Buffalo on the power play. As Bogosian hands it off now for Ennis. Comes back to number 47. Bogosian slides it across Molson. Top of the circle shot. Tipped in front. Never got all the way through to Emery. And now it's hammered around the boards by Bellemare. Good keep in, though, by Bogosian. Back to Molson. Low shot. That's tipped up high on the netting and out of play.
Boy, really good quickness by Bogosian to get over the boards, to keep that play alive and keep it inside the zone. Buffalo doing a nice job of using the points and getting some net front presence. Here's the shot to the front. They have 2 players. That one actually hit Jurgensen's in the foot, and then he wasn't able to get it. And then top of your screen there, Bogosian really had to hustle to get from the middle of the ice over to the boards to keep that one inside the zone. On top of the big shot and his physical play, Bogosian has very quick feet, and he's fast. He'll be one of the fastest players on the Buffalo Sabres.
Ennis, another little nifty self-chip off the wall to keep the play alive in the Flyer zone. Here, Bogosian handing it off, gets it right back. Little shot fake, now it goes to Molson. Molson goes back to Bogosian, who sent it to the corner. Now Coburn fanned on it. Picked up by the Flyers. Good pressure by Stewart, and now it's chipped all the way down the ice by Couturier.
Good patience by the penalty kill there of the Philadelphia Flyers, and penalty killing has been an issue for them, although not lately. 91% in this last 8-game stretch where they played very well, but overall they're 28th in the league.
Yep. 28th on the penalty kill. The Sabres 29th on the penalty kill. And Buffalo, as you would expect with the numbers we showed you, struggling offensively, dead last in terms of the power play. But a couple of opportunities they've had here. 20 seconds still remaining in the Claude Giroux penalty. Luke Schenn got a stick on it. Now Zadorov pinned to the boards by Vandevelde, and a diving play made by Luke Chen. And that forces Ristolainen back to go get it deep in his own zone with just 5 seconds remaining in the Drew minor penalty. Zadorov sends it around the far side. Bounces off a flyer. Grossman for Streit. Giveaway. Picked off by Foligno. A backhand shot. He got a lot on that. Didn't miss by much. And it's back out to center ice for the Flyers. Back the other way. Claude Giroux up the right side. Tried to go far side. Missed the net. Comes all the way out. Cody Hodgson picks it up. Hodgson, who had some good opportunities in the first period. Taking it wide here on Schultz. Put it right in on Emery. Forced him to make a save. And now the Flyer goaltender will cover.
Marcus Foligno with a really good steal deep inside the zone. Mark Streit will get the puck right here. He doesn't see Foligno coming from behind. He's trying to make a nice little tape-to-tape pass under pressure. Had no idea Foligno was coming. Turns into a really good scoring opportunity and puts Philadelphia in jeopardy. The puck gets deflected wide, though.
Talking to Marcus Foligno this morning about the All-Star break. And, of course, he was injured, and he and his dad, Mike, of course, a longtime Sabre, able to go down and see Nick, Marcus's brother. As the shot here from the angle is handled by Mason. And said what a great job Nick did and how much fun he had and what a great job the city of Columbus did with the whole All-Star festivities, as we'll get an icing call here against Philadelphia.
Cody Hodgson having a really good first period and early into the second period here. Somebody who's really got to step up for them. Hodgson with only 2 goals on the season after having 20 goals and 42 points last year. He was a healthy scratch the last 2 games, and 3 times out of the last 6 games he's been out of the lineup. So his coach has got his attention, and he's at a lot quicker feet. We're going to have another icing call here right off the faceoff. Part of the woes of, you know, the Buffalo Sabres, when you have a 20-goal scorer from last year, it goes down to 2 right now. I mean, it's going to hurt you. And Hodgson has been all over the puck and made one of the best plays in the first period, taking the puck off the wall and right to the net.
And you have to wonder if his name has come up in phone calls that have been made to Tim Murray, that perhaps a change of scenery.
With his history, yeah. I mean, he's a good skater. He's got some skills. Again, a former 20-goal scorer gets everybody's attention at the trade deadline, even though, you know, a lot of teams will think, well, just a change of scenery, maybe it'll help.
Coburn with a shot, skips wide of Neuberth, picked up on the near boards and sent back down low for Matt Reed, who still has the only goal in this game as we approach the halfway mark of the second period here in frigid downtown Buffalo. Didn't discourage the turnout of these fans, though. Just a tremendous crowd here tonight, all things considered.
If they can start their cars, they'll be here.
That's right. That's the only question.
Oh, with that wind howling, if it's blowing right into the front of your car, good luck getting it started. Wow, it is cold out there.
Skipping puck there that had to be fought off by Emery. And now it's angled ahead. And in wide of Neuberth, then whistled down offside. We will step aside, and when we come back, we'll hear from the head coach of the Flyers, Craig Berube. It is 1-0 Philadelphia. Well, our mistake, that is an icing call, and of course we don't go to break with an icing, and a little bit of confusion there. Sorry, Brian, you were all set to hop on that Flyer bench, but we'll get to that interview in a moment.
Yeah, but the icings, we don't have the whistle.
The Cavalier now for Vandevelde, trying to get it in deep, but it was blocked by the Sabres defense and played ahead to center ice, where Molson hands it off to Mitchell with some speed, drops it back for Gianton. A good stick there by one of the Flyer defenders. Now Mitchell back to the line. Another good stick there, that time by Vandevelde. He's going to try to chase it down, but it gets in close to Neuberth, able to play it around the boards.
Yeah, Buffalo's had some good plays on the rush, and Brian Gianta's been in the middle of a couple. I think he just got nicked in the face with a high stick. Looks like he's okay. But Gianta coming late on that last play. I think it went off of Vandevelde's leg, but he was set up for the big bomb.
Now Schenn sends it along. And Delorier out to center ice. Here is Marcus Foligno with it. Foligno pulls up, sends it back along the boards behind the Flyer net to the far side. Delorier for Flynn, knocked away by Del Zotto. Foligno in there on the forecheck as well. Now it comes to White, backhands it along off the stick of Umberger. And Umberger on a second effort puts it up into the Buffalo bench and out of play. Now we'll just step aside. Brian will take off his headset. He'll go to the bench. And we'll hear from Craig Berube after this.
Your team's been on a good roll lately. What was your focus coming into this one, and are you getting what you want?
First period we did. I thought we had a good first period. 15 shots in that, carried to play. This period, though, we're turning too many pucks over. We're letting them come at us too much. Not playing enough in the offensive zone.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Interesting, too, talking to Craig Berube this morning. I asked him about the mood of the team. You go 5-0-3, and it's like a snail's pace. You pick up a point or two here on the teams in front of you. Said the mood's been great. Said, I think it's been great all year.
Well, you know what? They did pick up 4 points over the last month or so, or a little bit less than that. Sometimes you can go on a stretch like that and not pick up one.
Florida picked up a point in that loss that went past regulation against St. Louis earlier tonight as a puck skips over stick of a Buffalo player at the line, goes all the way back deep into the Sabres zone. Umberger getting down there. Ellis gets to it for the Sabres, plays it around on the near side. Cody Hodgson knocked off the puck. Now White. That bounced off of Umberger, came right in front of the Buffalo goal and sent in just wide.
Well, Weber had no
Raffl.
stick. Weber had no stick. When that puck came off the wall, the defenseman had no stick. Now they finally get a whistle. Number 6, Mike Weber there. It's like, what was I supposed to do there? The rest of the 4 Sabres on the ice thinking, okay, we're fine. We got players in position, but, look at Weber. I can't do anything about it. So everybody's locked up there, but just good, smart play by Raffl to realize that, he can't do anything about it. He gets a free shot on net. Buffalo escapes without anything bad happening there.
Yeah, talking to Teddy Nolan about his defense combinations with Georges going out and Bogosian coming in. He had some pretty high praise for Mike Weber. Said he'll give you the effort no matter who he's on the ice with, who his partner is.
Yeah, he's one of those defensemen that can basically play with anybody, adapt a little bit here and there, and those type of defensemen are really valuable. Weber does a good job at that.
Now high slot, a chance here. And it trickled through Neuburg and perhaps off the post to his right. Here is Claude Giroux. And now back the other way. Stewart trying to cut through and he goes down. And what have we got? It looks like the officials pointing at 2 different players.
Well, after a chance at one end, Stewart starts to pull away from everybody. Coburn's going to end up in the penalty box. He gets caught a bit on the wrong side.
There's 2 Flyers going in here. I think there was an initial call, and then as that delay penalty was coming, another call was made. Because when I saw him point, Brian, I thought, is he going to call Stewart for embellishing? But that is not the case.
Yeah, no, you're right, because it was I think it was Chris Rooney that was making the calls there, and he did point with 2 hands. So he was pointing at both players at the same time. There's the high stick from behind the play, and then the play is developing so quickly, and then Coburn ends up taking I believe it ended up being a tripping call against Stewart, who was trying to bust right up the middle.
This power play presented by Craftsman, a full 2 minutes of a 5-on-3 opportunity for the Buffalo Sabres. It was a trip on Coburn and a high stick on Giroux that leads to this opportunity for Buffalo, down 1-0. A shot here off the glove of Emery. Jurgensen gets to it. Now it comes back to Bogosian. Right-hand shot playing the left point right now with a power play. Jurgensen's with it again. Bogosian looks across. Hands it on the far side. Ennis closing in. Quick shot. And off the side of the net. I believe Emery got a piece of that. Now it comes back to Bogosian. Far side comes back. Bogosian, the one-timer. What a shot block there. Perfect positioning by Matt Reed. Broke his stick on the play. Drops it going to the bench as the Flyers make a quick change. And angled off the board. Look out here. 2 men short. A chance for Van de Velde. Oh, and a save by Neuberg.
What a turn of events there. Matt Reed had broken his stick by blocking that shot. So he figured, I'm going to try and come to the bench. It turned out to be not a great time, but yeah, it did turn out to be a great time. Left side of your screen, Reed's going to end up blocking the shot. And then there's the clearing play after Van de Velde comes off the bench, the nice bank play off the wall, and he ends up with a clear-cut breakaway. So what a turn of events there, 5-on-3 for Buffalo, and they end up giving up a breakaway. Prior to that, Molson, watch this shot. He's trying to go top shelf there on the short side. Nice glove there by Emery.
Buffalo has allowed 8 shorthanded goals, and Van de Velde, what a terrific opportunity. 3-on-5.
You don't see that.
Not very often.
3-on-5 too often.
Oh, a one-timer here by Ristolainen. That was knocked down and cleared by the Flyers all the way back down to the Buffalo zone. 45 seconds remaining in the minors to Coburn and Giroux. Now Flynn hits the zone. Hands it off on the far side. Brian Giunta with it. He goes back high slot. Top of the circle. Zadorov for Ristolainen. Ristolainen back to Zadorov. The one-timer score!
Ray Emery never gets a look at this one because Van de Velde goes down and tries to block it, but he leaves the big 5-hole open, and Zadorov will hit that 5-hole. Watch 76 white, top of your screen. The puck's going to come back over here. See how he had his legs open? He had one leg down on the ice. He had the other foot down, but there it goes, right in between the feet. Emery, I'm sure, never was able to pick it up in time. That's one of the great screenshot chances you're going to get. Zadorov keeps it low, and Emery can't find the handle on it. It's tied up 1-1.
28 seconds still remaining in this power play as only Giroux comes out of the box. Coburn stays in there. Giunta was reaching with a stick, but you're right, Brian. I think that's Zadorov. It looks like all the way.
It looked like it to me from here.
Bogosian, a little trouble with the bouncing puck. Now it's recovered by the Flyers. Back on the rush. It bounces off Reed. But what a save by Neuberth on the Van de Velde shorthanded breakaway to keep it at 1-0.
And a turn of events for Van de Velde, who has a breakaway chance, doesn't score, and then ends up being the screener on his goaltender.
Zadorov gets credit for the goal, his third of the season from Ristolainen and Foligno. A 5-on-3 power play goals. A shot here right through and into the glove of Neuberth. He will hang on. A full 2 minutes of a 5-on-3. It took quite a while in the power play, but finally Zadorov scores to make it 1-1. Matt Reed in the first period for the Flyers when, as Craig Berube told Brian Engblom moments ago, when the Flyers played their best hockey. But here in the second, the Sabres have answered a 5-on-3 power play goal by Nikita Zadorov. His third goal of the season, his second on the power play. As Voracek across the line. He waits, sends it far side. To the net, it was blocked, and Giunta angles it off the boards and out to Molson. Hands it off now for Mitchell, who lobs it back into the Flyers' end. Dave Strader along with Brian Engblom, our man inside the glass, late in the second period here in Buffalo, where the Sabres their first game since making the blockbuster deal with Winnipeg, and then another deal involving goaltenders with the Dallas Stars. As Drew will send this puck back into the Buffalo end, and now here is Rasmus Ristolainen out with it. Across the Flyers line. That's backhanded up the far side, recovered now by White, and sent back the other way, and will be icing here.
Let's go back to that 5-on-3 situation and watch Reed get his stick broken. That's what I was talking about. See, he blocks that shot. The shaft of the stick is broken. So he goes right to the bench. But Bogosian's smart enough to realize, okay, he's going to the bench. Now we basically have a 5-on-2. But they turn the puck over. You lose a great opportunity. On top of that, Van de Velde came on the ice for Reed, and that's how he ended up getting the breakaway.
Now White redirected ahead for Umberger. He's got Luke Shen coming to the play. Late man, a third man coming with a chance here, and that was deflected. Not sure, but got through to Neuberth. And then the puck took a crazy bounce and ends up caught by the Buffalo goaltender. And he had to do a acrobatic move to keep his body from going into the net, perhaps with the puck in his equipment.
Yeah, an outnumbered attack here for the Flyers. Michael Del Zotto jumping up on the play as a defenseman. Umberger waits for the clearing and the alleyway to make the pass, and then there's that weird bounce off the end wall. And Neuberth trying to get back in a position. You could see how far out he'd come to challenge Del Zotto, and he did a terrific job on it. And how's that for acrobatics? That's great from the net cam. Giving a good look at it there. Getting surprised by the puck, and it's amazing when you have to make saves frontwards all the time, facing up the ice. You know it's a tough night when you have to make a save going backwards too. He's been good in this game, really good in this game.
In his glove there, pins it up. Boy, that's, well, you know what? He did a great job of just keeping that arm tucked. And
he must have been good in the limbo, too.
You know what? Before that puck was dropped, I think the horn sounded, and perhaps Toronto wants to talk to the officials.
You're right. I think that's exactly what happened, because it did go just right around the time they were dropping the puck. And because they saw what we just saw, is it was this puck over the line.
In his glove, but you can't tell where it is in his glove, and part of his glove goes over the line, but there's a good part of it, too, that doesn't cross.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way you call that anything but
I'd be shocked.
Call on the ice.
I'd be shocked too, Dave. I agree with that. It's too tough to tell where exactly the puck is, and it has to be conclusive evidence. Now, if his hand had gone way into the net and you know that the puck is in his hand, then you can make that call and say, yes, it's a goal. But you don't see that this one is conclusively over the line, and yes, they have said no goal.
Great work there by Neuwirth, and now the officials coming over, Brian, and talking to the benches.
So they're just having a discussion here about they're going to roll the clock back, I believe, a couple of seconds.
Yeah, and go back to the face-off in the Buffalo zone, because now they're ready to go. And the crowd watching the replay on the big overhead scoreboard here at First Niagara Center, appreciating the acrobatics of Neuwirth. Long one-timer here into the glove of Neuwirth again. That may have been going wide, but boy, he made it look good off the stick of Streit.
It was going wide, but you know what? It had a lot of velocity, so a rebound would have come right back out into the scoring area. So you snag those ones whenever you can, too. He gets a good look at it. Yeah, that's well wide. Good win off the face-off there by the Flyers.
Sabres able to control the draw in their own zone. Zadorov, the goal scorer for Buffalo. Ristolainen, who had an assist on the play, along with Foligno, sends it back the other way, and another icing call against Buffalo. The road to the NHL Stadium Series starts on FX, a 4-part all-access series with the Sharks and the Kings. Watch live Tuesdays on FX and NHL.com, or anytime with a free trial on FX.com. Ryan, you and I and Eddie Olczyk will be out there in Santa Clara, along with Carolyn Mano.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that.
And Catherine Tappan for all of our coverage. And not only, I just can't wait to see what the venue looks like. You and I had the great honor of doing the game at Dodger Stadium. But how important that game is for both of those teams, and the history recently between those two rivals, the Sharks and the Kings. LA having won 4 in a row to keep themselves in playoff consideration. Now Voracek wheeling back into his own zone. This is one of those times in a game, Brian, you're the Flyers, you'd like to see that top line create something here.
And they've shown some frustration at times in this game going back to the bench. Voracek and Giroux especially expect a lot of themselves offensively. And when nothing happens on their shift, they're shaking their heads and putting pressure on themselves to make it happen. Voracek said before the game to me this morning, said, I got to create more.
Now here's Foligno trying to create as that puck rolling in toward Emery. A pile of bodies in front of the Flyer net, and the Flyers come away with it. 3 Buffalo Sabres, though, are back in good position. As Bellemare hits the line, he hits the late man. Now Vandevelde makes a nice move, and a shot here is stopped by Neuwirth, and he will hold it with 2:24 remaining in the second.
Well, Vandevelde certainly had some chances and some looks in this game, including a clear-cut breakaway that we showed you earlier. And on the rush here, he comes in late, makes a nice move to the outside, just feints outside, is busy trying to control the puck and shoots it right into Neuwirth. Prior to that, Buffalo doing a nice job of just putting it in your pocket and carrying it to the net. But look at the job by Coburn, number 5. He gets a bit of a hook on the stick of Foligno, then beats him up from behind, and they clear the puck.
Oh, a shot changed direction and was knocked down by Neuwirth after a face-off win by the Flyers in the Buffalo zone. And now Stewart backhands it out over by the Flyer benches, and it's sent right back into the Buffalo zone. Approaching 2 minutes remaining here in the second period. Crucial points for the Flyers in their chase for the playoffs. 7 points behind Boston, currently occupying the last wild card spot of the Eastern Conference. Florida Panthers, between the Flyers and the Bruins, picked up a point tonight in a loss against the St. Louis Blues. Now it's bounced in wide of the Buffalo goal. Quick up and too far for Stewart. And it's going to be another icing call as we take a look at the Eastern Conference and the updated numbers. Florida with 60 points, 3 behind Boston. Again, that's a huge point that's lost by Florida. If they win that game in St. Louis, then they're 2 points behind Boston, same number of games remaining. The other thing to keep in mind that'll be more important as we get closer, Boston has a huge advantage in the first tiebreaker, which is ROW's regulation and overtime wins. They take the shootout wins out of there, and Boston has only had 2 shootout wins this season. A Streit with a shot here is knocked down in the high slot, and Reed will backhand it along. Couturier spinning out of the corner, back to the line for Streit, hands it back to Couturier. Lob to the far corner, Simmons picks it up. Now Reed with it. Matt Reed. And Matt Ellis steps into him. Couturier back to the line. Schultz sends it back around. Here is Simmons behind the Buffalo net. He protects it. Comes out to Streit with a shot pass to the front. Sailed in off the end boards. Less than a minute remaining in the period as the shot deflected just wide.
Good shift there for Simmons. Good puck control coming out from behind the net. He's as good as anybody in the league in that, and then gets a good shot himself.
Ennis put it out into the slot area, but it's all Flyers there. It doesn't come out of the zone. Molson knocked it down. Kept in by Ennis. Slides it across now for Mitchell. He's challenged by Streit. We hit a half-minute remaining here in the second period. Voracek angles it off the boards and couldn't get to it as it's picked up by Bogosian. Oh, boy. I was going to say there was a little bit in the change of the angle by the Buffalo defender, Benoit, and I wondered, was it interference? And the official says yes. There was hardly any contact, Brian, but he made the Flyer player who tried to dump it around him take the long route.
They really have cracked down on this. They want to give the offensive players as much of a chance as possible. See, Benoit's facing one direction. Oh man,
wow,
boy, that is really
calling it close.
It tight. Jeez, especially even in the neutral zone. Wow.
So second power play for the Flyers, who failed to capitalize on the first one back in the first period. Weber intercepts and sends it all the way down the ice. And that will do it for the second period. Andre Benoit with kind of a wry smile on his face as he looked toward one of the referees. And he may have a conversation with the other one as he skates toward the bench. Discover Card intermission report coming up with Liam Keith, the JR. Lack of discipline hurting the Flyers. And Alex Ovechkin regaining the goal lead with the Washington Capitals in action tonight. Here in Buffalo, it is 1-1 after 40 minutes of play. The Discover Card intermission report on the other side of this. The NHL on NBCSN is brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV. By Audi, truth in engineering. And by the Discover It card. It's a game changer. 1-1 heading into the third period, and with the talk of the blockbuster deal between Buffalo and Winnipeg, interesting in this game tonight that we look at the first round of the NHL draft. After Stamkos went first, Doughty went second. Bogosian was third, then Pietrangelo. Luke Schenn for Toronto now with the Flyers in this game tonight. Cody Hodgson drafted by Vancouver, 10th overall, of course, now playing with Buffalo. Tyler Myers going to Winnipeg in that deal, and you got Del Zotto now with the Flyers, and Ennis, who was picked 26th overall. And Brian, Ennis has had himself a pretty solid 2 periods.
Tyler Ennis has got some great skills. He's got terrific hands and really quick feet too. Watch this little spin-around move to create a play that gave him a scoring chance. Same thing, uses the wall again, great quickness, goes to the net there, tries to chip one in the top corner. On the power play, took it right to the net and just bounced one off the shoulder as well. Tyler Ennis has had a very strong game for Buffalo.
Matt Reed is 5th from Simmons and Schultz in the first. Zadorov from Ristolainen and Foligno on a 5-on-3 in the second. And the Flyers are probably hoping that their third period more closely resembles their first period.
Yeah, Keith Jones was talking about it in the studio, though. They showed the clips. They're a little sloppy in their own end, certainly, and too many turnovers and gave up too many shots, which is exactly what Craig Berube had said to me, too, during that interview. So they'll be looking to go north a lot in this third.
And, of course, the Flyers starting off here with still plenty of time on this power play with Benoit in the box for that, for lack of a better term, marginal interference call that was made in the late stages of period number 2. So Philadelphia working on their second power play chance.
And it's always good. You start at the beginning of a period, the ice is fresh, and if you can get the puck snapping around on your power play, then your offensive confidence starts to come back as well. And the Flyers are looking to do that because they dearly need both points in this game.
Delzato. Reed drops it back. Delzato picks it up. Challenged by Weber. He dumps it deep into the Buffalo zone. Gianta tried to play it up the far side. Couturier got a stick on it. Now Bogosian able to get to it, and he'll get enough on it to send it all the way back into the Flyers zone.
Really good job by Buffalo defending the line there. They forced Delzato to go down the wall. Weber stepped up on him and forced it to dump it in when he wanted to carry it in.
Now Reed hands it off. LeCavalier sends it in deep. It's hammered around by Ristolainen. Gets by Couturier. And not a very good sequence here for the Flyers on this power play, which has just 15 seconds now remaining. Straight up the far side, Voracek. Snaps it along the boards in behind Neuwirth up the near side. Centering pass just misconnecting with Vandevelde. Picked up by Schultz. Out of the box comes Benoit with a shot here now that the Flyers sent in toward Neuwirth. Vandevelde below the goal line brings it out. Shot right to the front. Sent back the other way by Bellemare. He was just hoping he had somebody on the far side. Maybe catching Neuwirth drifting off that post. Now Schultz with it. Blocked by Delorier, but the Flyers keep it in. Benoit, having served his penalty, sends it around the far side. The Flyers being very careful not to play that puck with all kinds of changes going on, and didn't want to risk it too many men on the ice penalty.
That fourth line for the Flyers had quite a night. Vandevelde's had 5 shots on goal in the first 2 periods, including that breakaway.
Raffl with a shot that bounces off the inboard. Now sent back along. Out to the far point. Knocked down by Neuwirth, and as the puck was up in the air, he used the goal stick to play it to the far boards. Raffl now trying to duck underneath the check. Umberger reaching in for the puck. Gergensen steps into him. Now Ennis. Puck was in his skates. Gergensen's trying to clear, and he got it up in the air, and it's out to center ice. Coburn knocked down by Stewart. Stewart a 2-on-1. Stewart a shot, and a save made by Emery, and he holds it there. Chris Stewart with a glorious chance.
Braden Coburn facing backwards, tried to make a play back to his partner. Coburn, Stewart took a gamble, read the play, and this is where he steals it. It's a 2-on-1. He's measuring the situation the whole way. He took a look over towards Tyler Ennis, but decided to take the shot. Before that, the Philadelphia Flyers getting the puck into the paint. Bellemare and Vandevelde have done a nice job in this game. The fourth line of the Flyers creating chances.
Top line for the Flyers out now, trying to make something happen. Voracek, Giroux, and Braden Shen. His brother Luke takes this shot. It's blocked, comes right back to him. Now he'll send it along. Voracek battling there with Benoit. Oh, a big hit by Bogosian. Boy, you don't want to back up against the boards when Bogosian's in the neighborhood, as he is going to finish the check.
He's got tremendous strength, too.
Now back out to the right point. A shot to the net. Blocked in front. Bogosian in perfect position. As it's back the other way now for Larson. Just up from Rochester, the American Hockey League, Johan Larson.
And after that 2-on-1 chance, Chris Stewart coming back on the bench here has kicked the wall about 4 times since he came back and sat down. He knew that was a big chance and didn't make the shot.
Reed for Simmons the shot. He tried to go high on the short side on Neuwirth. Didn't miss by much. And now Mitchell starting back the other way with some speed, looking to go wide. Now dumps it along the boards in behind Emery. 4 minutes gone by here in the third period. 1-1 our score from Buffalo. Now Zadorov off of his stick. Couturier. Zadorov wraps him up and takes him down. Now Simmons trying to dig it out from the pile. So is Gianta. Gianta wins the battle, chips it along. Olsen hands it off now for Ristolainen, who goes wide on the Flyer defense. Shot was deflected, picked up by Foligno with a chance here, and a good left pad save by Ray Emery. Belmar drops it back. Shot by LeCavalier was blocked, never got close to the Buffalo net. Back the other way now comes Stewart, who had that opportunity moments ago. Slides it into the Flyer zone. Vandevelde back to get it for Philadelphia. Hands it off LeCavalier. Drops it back to the defense. Luke Schenn sends it across. Now it's recovered by Buffalo and hoisted back the other way. Knocked down now by Belmar. LeCavalier plays it ahead. Philadelphia looking to make a change. They'll be able to do that now. As Buffalo retreats back deep in their own zone. Weber. Lazzaros plays it ahead. Laurier got the puck, but he had nowhere to go. Flyers in good position in the neutral zone. Now Raffl had it knocked off his stick. Ristolainen will play it around, and Weber stretches it out to center ice. Bounces off to Laurier, and Del Zotto plays it back into the Buffalo zone. Bounces off someone near the line, and the linesman waving it down that it was offside. As we take a look at the upcoming games, the NHL Network's got a dandy between the Rangers and the Islanders tomorrow beginning at 7 Eastern. Tuesday night coverage begins with NHL Live at 6:30 as the Buffalo Sabres take on the New Jersey Devils. And Wednesday night rivalry, the Detroit Red Wings and the Chicago Blackhawks. And we'll follow that game on Wednesday night, Brian and I, with the LA Kings and the Colorado Avalanche. And LA and Colorado both in that chase for a playoff spot in the Western Conference. Colorado with a big win last night over Dallas in a game that had its share of physical play and nastiness. LA has won 4 straight. Keep themselves very much in that playoff race.
Colorado in a similar situation points-wise as Philly. The trouble is they have 4 teams they have to worry about.
Del Zotto tried to send it across. Good read there by Benoit. Never allowed the Flyers to make the play they wanted to play, and it's cleared back out to center ice.
Yeah, when you lay down like Benoit does, it takes away an awful lot of options. So even if you don't block the pass, it's easier to read for his remaining teammates, and it was a good play by Benoit.
Now Bogosian. Deflected pass comes to Cody Hodgson. He'll send it along behind Emery. Couldn't get the goal stick on it. Goes all the way around and outside the line and brought in offside. 13:23 remaining in the third. Flyers and the Sabres remain tied at 1.
Back in Buffalo, our Hyundai RoboCam is going to show Marcus Foligno get a good scoring chance. He intercepts the puck just inside the blue line and works that gap really well. He has time to pull the trigger. Really good reactionary save there by Emery. Not overthinking it. There was room on the far side, especially up top. I was looking at that thinking that he was going to go up top with it, and Emery outweighted him. I think we got an icing call here. Foligno's had 2 or 3 really good looks at the net in this game. And Emery has had a very strong game, too. We've talked about Neuwirth, but this is a 1-1 hockey game, and he's made some really clutch saves at key times as well.
Shots right now 25-18 favoring the Flyers, who have had only one, though, here in the third period in nearly 7 minutes of time. Ristolainen for Torrey Mitchell. Now Zadorov for Buffalo. Angled wide by Reed, who deflects the first pass attempt. Now Ristolainen will try it up the right wing side. Gianta slides it across. And Molson dumps it along the boards behind Emery. Bounces to the near side. Chopped at by Grossman. Recovered here by Couturier. Sends it far side for Simmons. Zadorov sweeps it off of his stick. Now Neuwirth moves it along. Cleared up the near side, but Couturier got it to the front. Reed, a quick centering pass. He was hoping somebody was there, I think, Brian.
Yes, he was. Molson was positioned very well. Ended up intercepting that one. I can see Reed looking up at the sky as he comes back to the bench there. He was point blank, and you never know. Sometimes there's a yell by an opposing player, and you think it's your guy, and everything happens so quickly out there. Reed took a calculated guess, and he guessed wrong. Watch Reed down low in front of the net there. See, he makes the back pass, but really good positioning by Molson. Molson just picked that one off and is able to easily walk out of the zone.
Yeah, that's a quick instant decision Reed's got to make.
Yeah.
I mean, where he got the puck, he would have had to make a move probably to get a shot of any consequence to the net.
He knows he has a high man.
Shot here, and speaking of the high man, right in the high slot, that rang off the iron. You could hear it all the way up here in the booth.
Claude Giroux. Nice play off the wall by Voracek. Voracek fishes the puck off the wall and gets it right to him. In traffic, look at that by Voracek. That is some outstanding work. And a quick release there by Claude Giroux, who can shoot him as well as anybody in the game. But really good hands there by Voracek. 2 Buffalo Sabres around him. Is calm. He puts it right in the wheelhouse for Giroux to get that shot off.
You know, talking to Craig Berube about that top line as they talk about that opportunity on the bench, whether other teams were defending him differently, and Coach Berube said, no, I don't think so. We're going to do this face-off again. He said, I think it gets back, and you talked about this a little bit ago, Brian, that the trio was having, especially the 2 guys, Giroux and Voracek, had so much success early. They just expected that the points were going to keep coming. He said, this time of year, I don't care who you are, it's tough. And so when you're having shifts where you're not producing, you get frustrated when you're an offensive guy.
Well, 2 points in 5 games. Oh,
look out here. They're trying to decide if this puck goes cleanly out of play.
Yeah, I think Brian Ponsic, the linesman in the face-off circle, he put his hands together. That would indicate to me that he thought it was deflected.
I thought I heard something, Brian, on our effects mics down at rink level. Oh, boy.
You know what? What he heard was the stick on the stick. I don't think it went off the stick, but I think they're going to get the call. I mean, I saw Ponsic. The stick is right in there. It's close enough call. Yeah, it's okay. They're not going to have.
Boy, that is. Whew.
They're not going to have a call there. But it was. It was Brian Ponsic, the linesman there, was right in on it, and he immediately was signaling to the referee with his hands together like that was deflection. I think that's a good call under the circumstances. Yeah.
Maybe a good opportunity there for a coach's challenge. I know the guys were talking about that earlier today because of the situation with the minor penalty against Crosby that, was overturned after he had gone to the box. And heard Pierre Maguire talk about that, something he's advocated that he'd like to see it as a deflected puck being chased down here. LeCavalier, a little tug at the jersey that went unnoticed or uncalled.
A couple of experienced pros rather there. LeCavalier against Weber, and both of them did everything they could on that play. No goal.
Now a deflected puck goes up over top of the net and off the glass, and big hit by Delorier, that time on Grossman. Drew some oohs and ahs from the crowd here. 18,759. What's 15 below when it's a hockey night?
Well, it's worse than that too with the wind.
It's been unbelievable. Now a lead pass, the Flyers with some speed. Here's Voracek, top of the circle, looks across it, takes the shot, and Neuberth able to make the save.
Watch Vinny LeCavalier against Weber on his last shift. LeCavalier will use his body position on this loose puck. Watch him cut off Weber. Right in there, get inside. And then with the loose hand by Weber, does he grab the back of the pants? The back of the jersey. You got a good look at it from up there, Dave. I didn't from down here. 2 wily veterans playing against each other, using the situation to the best of their ability.
Now here's Braden Shen. Spins away, looking to go back to the line, but it's taken away by Giunta. And now Molson bounces one in wide of Emery. Chopped along, picked up by Mitchell. His shot was blocked. And Braden Shen plays it ahead to Voracek. He and Giroux into the offensive zone. Voracek, high slot, waits, and the shot was blocked. Out near the line, it is held in by Delzato. Rolls it back in deep. Voracek pinned up there, trying to pull away from Benoit. Gets it in front. Giroux was right there. The puck in too close to his feet. He couldn't get much out of Neuberth. I thought had it covered, but he does not. And it comes back out to Delzato again. Fanned on the first pass across. Now he'll drop it back. Claude Giroux out near the line, lobs one toward the net. And it's knocked down and recovered by the Sabres as we hit the halfway mark of the third period. Still in a 1-1 battle.
A top line for Philadelphia really ramping up here in this third period, though. That was a pretty good chance on the rush, and then Braden Shen loosening that puck in the crowd very nearly got his chance, too.
Umberger plays it around on the far side. Grossman is there for Philadelphia. Moves it away from Cody Hodgson. Run into by Zadorov, and then a big hit delivered by Michael Raffl, but the Sabres able to get it out to center ice off the stick of Cody Hodgson and backhanded momentarily into the Buffalo zone. The Sabres clear it back the other way. And Emery out to sweep it along the near side. Picked up on the left wing boards. Umberger had to play it ahead. It was blocked. Now he lifts it back into the Buffalo zone. The Flyers momentarily delayed offside, but they were headed back to the bench anyway on a change. As Weber bounces one in wide of the Flyer goal. Schenn moves it around far side. Mazeros, Stewart, centering pass. Bouncing puck recovered by the Flyers and played calmly back the other way. Simmons trying to get around Weber. Now the puck is picked up by Reed, taken away by Girgensons. And because Girgenson's been quiet tonight, offensively, at least in terms of chances. Brian, I haven't said his name much in the offensive zone.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He was leading them in point totals for most of the year. He's been passed by Ennis lately, and you're right. Very few chances for Girgensons in this game. I remember one in the first period.
Grossman for Reed across the line with LeCavalier, and now the puck is knocked down, chopped at by Belmar, who had come out of the ice. Now Flynn across the line. Good job by Foligno to stay onside. Now he has the puck behind the Flyer net. Circles out on the backhand, feeds it out to Bogosian. Bogosian with a shot right through it, and skips wide.
Delorier deflected that one.
Bogosian, 8 hits through 2 periods of play, credited to the newest Buffalo Sabre, number 47, who has it now. Did we ever find out if his dad made it all the way in the truck from Winnipeg here to Buffalo?
Good point. Yeah, his dad was driving his truck in today. I don't know. I didn't talk to him right before the game. He said, yeah, Dad's bringing it in today. His fiancée Bianca got in yesterday, so slowly but surely he's becoming more and more a Sabre.
Offside at the Buffalo line with 7:31 remaining here in the third period. It is still a 1-1 game in Buffalo.
Zach Bogosian with a big impact in this game, very nearly an assist. He threads this one through Delorier in front of the net, changes the angle, but a little bit too much on a deflection. And prior to that, the big line for the Flyers, Voracek to Giroux, swing and a miss, and then Braden Schenn causing havoc. He loosens the puck. He gets cleaned out of there. Buffalo does a good job of getting it out of harm's way. These two teams battling down to the wire here, 1-1.
Raffl wins the draw. Delzato fires it in. Neuwirth letting his defense know where the puck was going. Weber is there. Tied up along the boards. Raffl trying to dig it out. Sabres play it back to the near side. Now moving up Delzato. Plays it along the boards. White is there. Raffl now with a wraparound. Score! Neuwirth thought he had it. It trickles out from behind him, and Michael Raffl, coming back from an injury, scores a huge goal here in the third period.
Well, Ryan White gets in on the forecheck and it loosens the puck along the wall. I'm convinced that Neuwirth had no idea where the puck was. Raffl came out so quickly and stuffed it in. I don't think Neuwirth had an idea. There's Raffl, number 12. The puck will come back along. That was Ryan White along the wall. White again. And then let's watch Neuwirth. See, Neuwirth took a peek over his right shoulder. And then, see, he's going to his left. Now he's coming back to his right. Look, see, he had no idea. That's what I saw because he just didn't react in time. He had no idea where the puck was. One of the most difficult things for the goaltenders is when the puck is directly behind them. Those ones that come out quickly. And boy, Raffl took advantage there.
The one other time these teams have played back on January the 17th, the game-winning goal, Michael Raffl. Will it stand up here? We'll have to wait and see. As it comes back to the line now, Bogosian. Ends it along, and it's recovered here by Streit. And Streit will try to backhand it along. It's knocked up in the air. Thought it went into the Flyer bench, but still in play. So White and Delzato.
White did a good job on that forecheck. He caused a lot of havoc on that goal. Let's go back and take a look again and see how it developed. Good old forechecking along the wall, doing some dirty work, and then here's the result of it. See, White's down on the right side of your screen, and Raffl just comes out so quickly. Neuwirth, watch the head of Neuwirth. He's looking the wrong way. See, by the time he comes back, it's already in.
Now the Flyers Playing it back into the Buffalo zone. Ristolainen there first. Zadorov didn't get it by Simmons. Hands it off or wanted to for Reed. Went through him out to the line. Good keep in by Del Zotto. Now for Couturier. Couturier has it again. Looks out to the line. Del Zotto tees it up with a shot, but sails just wide. Now Girgensons plays it along the near side. Ennis is there, but so's Del Zotto. Puck comes free, and it's out to center ice. Chris Stewart hands it off. Girgensons going wide, and that's into the glove of Emery. He will hold it there, and we will step aside. Michael Raffl, who missed 7 games with an illness, comes back and has an impact. The go-ahead goal here from the third. It's 2-1 Philadelphia. Want to pass along our condolences to the family and friends of Steve Monador. Passed away far too early at the age of 35, a veteran of 571 NHL games with 6 teams, including the Buffalo Sabres. 2 years here back in 09-10 and 10-11. Thoughts and condolences to the family and friends of Steve Monador. Got to know him a little bit when I was in Florida and he played there. Always had time for the media, always a smile on his face. He'll be missed. 5.5 remaining here in regulation, and a 2-on-1 develops with a shot here. Neuvert the save as Claude Giroux had an opportunity closing in down the right side.
Flyers doing a good job of muscling the puck through the neutral zone because some heavy contact right here. Schen's going to take a big hit from Delorier, but he makes a beautiful backhand pass to Giroux. And Giroux, who can set up plays as well as anybody, sees that Grossman is with him. But well played again here by Benoit, who lays down on the play, makes the pass pretty tough. And Giroux goes for the shot himself, and it's snuffed out by Neuvert.
Face off from the Buffalo zone. Down to 5:26 remaining here with the third. LeCavalier wins the draw. Belmar hit by Delorier along the board. Now the Sabres have it. Zadorov, who has the lone Buffalo tally, it came on a 5-on-3 power play. It was a full 2 minutes with penalties happening to Coburn and Drew back at 12:25 with a second as we get an icing call here against the Flyers.
Hey, Dave, Teddy Nolan was trying the old Latvia Olympic play again. He had Brian Gionta waiting at this end of the bench with the door open, trying to get, as soon as they got control of the puck, try to have a quick line change of a guy coming off inside their zone and then the player going out through the other gate, so you get a head start of about, 30 feet or so. It didn't work that time. Well, we've seen Nolan try to do that a couple of times over the last year or so.
Yeah, we certainly saw it in the Latvia-Canada game, Brian, that you and I did in Sochi, and with the benches set up the way they were there was probably even more like a 40-foot
at least, yeah,
gain in territory. There's a shot block there by Belmar, stung him. He's going to stay out here on the ice now as Gionta tried to move it along. Now Vandevelde slides it across. Schenn will play it ahead into the Buffalo zone and the puck out of play.
Let's take a look and see what we're talking about here. Brian Gionta with the door open, the puck inside the Buffalo zone. See Gionta, bottom right of your screen. The player change, player came off the ice, Gionta came out at the other end, so he's already on the attack. But Luke Schenn was smart enough to pick it up. It just didn't work as smoothly. If it works properly, you have to win the face-off.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you have the one player closest to the bench come off and Gionta go on. It didn't quite work that time.
Here is Ennis now for Buffalo. Kind of fanned on it off the wall. Reed able to play it to Couturier. He drops it off for Simmons with a shot up too high over the glove of Neuvert. Girgensons run into. And now Ennis will send it back into the Flyers zone. Emery plays it around on the near side. Mazzaro sends it right back. Girgensons, who played for Ted Nolan for that Latvia Olympic team that nearly pulled the big upset over Canada in the Sochi Olympics last February. Stewart pinned up along the boards by Grossman, and now it's chipped by Simmons back toward the Buffalo end. 4 minutes remaining here in the third. 2-1 Flyer lead. Ennis with a shot right through, and it's steered aside by Emery. Knocked down by the Sabres, but recovered by Luke Schenn over to Michael Del Zotto. And the Flyers will come out with it. Luke Schenn, right wing side. Now it's redirected into the Buffalo zone. Delorier plays it ahead for Flynn. Ryan Flynn gets it deep into the Philadelphia zone. It jumps over the stick of Foligno, and White made a play on it now for R.J. Umberger, who hammers one from about 63 feet, and it jumps into the corner. As Foligno for Flynn. Back to Foligno. He wanted to go rink wide for Delorier. It was blocked. And we have just over 3 minutes remaining here in the third period. Flyers trying to do something here that they haven't been able to do in a couple of recent games, and that's protect the lead. Now Braden Shen trying to get it to the front. Knocked away to the line, where it is held in by Schultz. He'll roll it along. Braden Shen now behind the net. Voracek trying to make something happen. Jake Voracek, the leading assist man in the National Hockey League, coming into play tonight. Big collision deep in the Flyer zone. Now Torrey Mitchell for Buffalo. Hands it off for Molson. 2.5 remaining in regulation. Zadorov, Ristolainen. Moves it along the boards, back for Ristolainen, jumping into the play. Still has it behind the Flyer net, below the goal line. Now he sends it out to Zadorov. Zadorov's shot is blocked up on the glass. Here's Gianta with a quick centering pass and a shot graces off the side of the net. Molson again with a chance, and it's turned aside. Now Mitchell, great pressure here by Buffalo. And the puck comes free. Voracek trying to win control, but the Sabres get it out to the point. It comes to Ristolainen. Under 2 minutes remaining here in regulation. Bouncing puck to the near side of the Flyer zone. Ristolainen with it again. Pinned up along the boards by Schultz, but Ristolainen, good job keeping the feet moving. What a move out of the corner. Gets a shot away to save by Emery. Schultz able to get it to the boards, and Giroux. That bounces off of Gianta, so it will not be icing. That's a break for the Flyers.
Boy, some terrific work offensively by Buffalo Sabres, really opening up here. They have to down a goal here. Brian Gianta with some great work, and then Ristolainen deep inside the zone.
Simmons, neutral zone turnover by Buffalo. Tries to send it across, blocked by Gianta. Back the other way, Neuwirth starting to drift out of his net. Claude Giroux, after that last shift, Brian went back to the bench, but his glove, I believe, for his right hand is still on the ice. Back the other way comes Reed. Swept away by Benoit, comes to the near side for Couturier. He sends it in front of the Buffalo net, but the Sabres in good position, and Ennis lifts it back the other way, and Neuwirth starts his move to the Buffalo bench. Extra attacker out for the Sabres. Flyers get control. Cleared up the near side for Reed, but he couldn't handle it cleanly, and now Zadorov backing up into his own zone as the Sabres regroup. Intercepted center ice. Couturier had to wait for his teammate to get onside. And now Ennis from in front of his own net starts the attack back the other way. Doesn't get it inside the Flyers zone. Recovered by Ristolainen. Quickly for Molson. Hands it off to Foligno. Finally they get it deep into the Flyers zone under 30 seconds. Angled off the boards, off the stick of Ristolainen. Was it played with a high stick? It was. And the face-off will happen in the neutral zone.
Well, the Buffalo Sabres coming with a really good push here. Molson with a couple of good chances. This is Ristolainen deep inside the zone. He gets a really good scoring chance. A good look at the net there. Just loops out of the corner. There's Gianta. This is the two Molson chances. Good quick shots. That one off the outside of the post, outside of the netting. Then he gets the other chance too. And Emery doing a good job of being out, covering it, reading the play. Again, having to look over his shoulder and then back out in front. Really good positioning there by Ray Emery, and really good offensive push here by the Buffalo Sabres.
And Buffalo has called their timeout with 24.2 seconds remaining as the team huddled over on the bench. Not much being said on the Flyer side. They know what they have to do.
And if you remember the last two games, they ended up with only 1 point in each game when they had to lead in each game, especially the last game for the Flyers. They had a 2-goal lead halfway through the third period against Columbus, and then ended up getting the regulation tie, but losing. Valuable points. They do not want to give up this extra point here.
That was assistant coach Danny Flynn doing most of the talking and doing the work on the dry erase board as Ted Nolan was looking on. And so now we'll have a face-off just outside the Buffalo zone. So Neuwirth is back in his spot, having a conversation with the referee.
Brian Flynn flanked out like a flanker in football. And if they get it, Oh, a line change right away, and Ennis, very similar. Just trying a little rope-a-dope there, but it didn't work again. Ennis gets back out there. He's their top playmaker.
Now as it gets deep into the Flyers zone, Neubert to the bench. Buffalo again with the extra attacker. 7 seconds remaining. Buffalo needs to get it off the wall. Picked up by Girgensons. He tried to jam it to the front. Now Foligno has it. Foligno angles it off the board, but time will run out. And the Philadelphia Flyers, 2 huge points. Ray Emery, another solid performance, stopping 21 of the 22 Buffalo shots that he faced.
He did a terrific job there. This Philadelphia Flyers team had to work hard for this game. Buffalo made it tough on them.
So the Flyers congratulate Ray Emery, Matt Reed in the first period, and Michael Raffl for the second time in this season series gets the game-winning goal at 12:45 of the third period as the Philadelphia Flyers defeat Buffalo by a final of 2-1. For Brian Englom and the rest of our crew here at First Niagara Center, I'm Dave Schrader saying thanks for joining us. But don't go anywhere. Stay tuned after these messages. It'll be NHL Overtime.